Greetings, YouTube. Today we're looking at Squarriors, and yes, that is a bloody squirrel on the cover. I am a sucker for anthropomorphic animals, and I'm also a sucker for really pretty art, and the art in this is very pretty. It's like every single frame is like painted. It's lovely. The only difficulty I found in that is that because it's a realistic kind of a vibe, and some of these things take place at night, this style of art, of the painting style, kind of makes some of the scenes a little muddled, to my opinion. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. Now, it completely makes sense because you would have a difficult time telling what's going on if you were in that scene at that time. But as the reader, I think it could have required a little lighter tone. Just lighten that scene up a little, so I have a better idea what the heck's going on. This is volume 1 called Spring, and the idea is that the animals have become sapient. You've got two parallel stories going on here. One taking place in 1985 or 6, I can't remember which, where things are going to hell in a handbasket on Earth. Absolutely going downhill. There are bad things happening all over the world. Infrastructure is breaking down. Our society is essentially collapsing, and you're not 100% sure why. And then you have the story of these sapient animals that's 10 years after that time period. And they're calling us the creators, and we're not here anymore. And they are. And it's the struggles they're having, being, for the most part, being very small animals in a very big world, trying to survive against nature and against their fellow animals, some of whom are predators and are meat eaters. Now, one of the main characters in this, with the good guys, is a fox. Now, foxes can, in fact, eat non-meat things, but they are still omnivores, and I can't imagine they're not eating meat. So are there exceptions to the rule? Because the birds can speak and all the mammals can speak. They don't seem to have any dogs in here. They showed no dogs. They showed no large mammals. So no horses, no sheep, no bears, no wolves. They showed cats, but they were more like the domestic cats, not large pumas or bobcats or things like that. And that kind of, again, it gives the whole problem I've talked about before in videos, is that when you have sapient animals who have to eat other sapient animals, that's a real problem. And they touch on that because some of the cats are actually catching animals for the purposes of consuming them. But if the good guys have carnivores on their side too, how do they handle that? And that in this volume, and there are more comics. This is just the first comic, the first volume. Doesn't address that, so I don't know if it addresses it in the later storylines or not. I can't tell you that. I only picked this one up. I picked it up at a used store someplace. But I was just really attracted to the artwork, and I love anthropomorphic animals. And these are semi-anthropomorphic because they have fully functional hands. They're fully sapient, but when they run, almost all of them are running on 4s. And like the foxes and things that are normally completely quadruped seem to have far less dexterity when it comes to manipulating things than with the squirrels, who come with hands. Squirrels have hands now, and they're just completely functional hands in this storyline. So there are some things that are left unsaid, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, I like the idea of showing, not telling, leading you in. There's mystery. You don't know what happened to the people. You're looking at this storyline about the kid. His father's gone off. He's a member of the military. He's gone off to handle some issues somewhere in America, because, again, things are going to hell in a handbasket. And he's trying to just stiff upper lip and keep going, kind of thing. And the story of he and his dog and their little homestead. And you don't know what happens to him. You just know that between 86 and 96, there are no humans left. And the animals have become sapient. So something happened. I don't believe the second volume is out yet as a volume. I think that the individual comics may be available, at least some of them, and I don't want to buy individual comics. So if these ever actually, when one of these finally get bound together as a second volume, I may pick that up because this is pretty good. I this is when I'm on the edge. I may keep this one just because it is so darn pretty. It really is. I just love the way this thing looks. The artists did a great job. Who are Ashley Witter, Ash Maczko, Maczko. Little quote under there. And the meek shall inherit the earth. Yeah, but they're not so friggin' meek, I can tell you that. So if you like anthropomorphic animals and you like kind of a post-apocalyptic vibe and you like a little bit of mystery, this might be a comic you'd be interested in. I had a really good time reading it.